Back now to the stunning news that we learned this weekend. Former President Biden has an aggressive form of prostate cancer.
And you may be wondering how the diagnosis is just now being detected. And while we don't have that answer in this case specifically, we know diagnosing prostate cancer can get a lot trickier as people get older. Joining us now is Dr. Ryan Cleary, a urologist with MedStar Health. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us. And of course, we've been reading about this. There are a lot of factors to consider with this: age, the type of cancer, its spread to the former president's bones. What do those factors say to you?
Certainly, yeah, it's my pleasure. So there are various, bodies that we lean on for guidance in terms of screening for prostate cancer, and most of them actually recommend, at the minimum, an informed conversation and to not routinely screen for patients over the age of 70 to 75. And so, while it is alarming to learn of this diagnosis and have some conjecture about how long the cancer has been there, it's not out of the ordinary to diagnose men in their 80s outside of the screening process.
Let's talk a little bit about why you don't want to screen, because usually it's the more information, the better when it comes to cancer, but this is different. Can you tell us why?
Certainly, yeah. So prostate cancer in general is a very slow growing cancer. And so we typically discuss the regulations and the idea of screening in terms of a 10-year life expectancy. And so patients in their 80s routinely don't have a 10-year life expectancy. And so to diagnose cancer when it's early and not spread, as the idea of screening would include, doesn't make sense for those types of patients.
Thank you, doctor. That does make sense. And we're hearing about some of the treatment options. We're hearing about hormonal treatments, that those could be involved in this treatment process. Please talk about that for us and some other options maybe on the table right now for the former president.
Yes, certainly. When we identify patients with prostate cancer that's spread, we look at whether it's a large amount of spread or a small amount of spread. We don't have that answer in this question. Certainly involving bones would make us think more. Patients who are younger would qualify for chemotherapy in that situation. We would anticipate that the mainstay of treatment for former President Biden would be hormonal treatments. Now, we also do other types of treatments. We do radiation treatments. Radiation in that setting would be mainly for palliation, meaning to alleviate discomfort from bone spread. We also do surgery, of course, but that would be just for localized disease.
Dr. Clear, we know that you are not treating President Biden, but from the information that all of us know at this point, do you have any estimates of the survivability of this and how long someone could live with this type of cancer now that it has spread to the bones?
Yeah, certainly. So most studies show that at 5 years, about 30 to 40% of patients will still be with us once they're diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer. Now, that data also includes death from other causes. So as I'd mentioned, many patients are diagnosed in their late 70s, 80s, and so other causes of death are certainly high in terms of the frequency in that patient population. But 30 to 40% of patients will still be with us after 5 years.
Dr. Ryan Cleary with MedStar Health. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise here on 7 News at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, my pleasure. Take care.